Hey, I'm Ross from Prime Circle, and you're watching Made on Backstage.
The Prime Circle have a status of real rock stars in South Africa. Now conquering Europe, fighting for your position one fan at a time. Does it give you a feeling of starting again?
Big time, yeah. I think we've always had the rule of one fan at a time, you know, like it's sort of, we've always wanted that in a way. So for us it's nice, and we've been together for 16 years, and when we first started coming in here it was about 11, 12 years in, and we had to ask ourselves the question, do we want to still do this for the love? Because you have to start playing to two people again and start from the bottom. And we answered wholeheartedly yes, and we've been coming back every year, and it's just been growing and growing, and it's been an amazing ride. So we're loving it, it's awesome. For me, to be honest, I felt like the music we were doing was starting to become a little bit samey and a little bit stale. And when we started coming to Europe more and everything, we started, the level of competition was bigger and broader, and it opened up our minds to different styles, new producers, new things. So the album started to progress, and I think it's kept us in a job because of the fact that we've had to progress. We've had to change our style, we've had to move. So these new records have been different.
So broadening your reach physically, also broaden your musical horizons.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, I think it's the thing is you got to grow as a human as well. So not only as a musician or anything like that, if you don't grow as a human, I think it's a bit of a tragedy. So I think for us, it's being out and being able to travel and see the world, meet people, grow as musicians. It's been great for us, you know, broaden horizons. Yeah.
What is the condition of a rock scene in South Africa right now?
It's good, man, and like in some ways, and it's bad in others. I think it's the same. There's the same question across the world, though. Is where is rock going? What is it going to do? Is it dead? You know, I just think that music in general is always going to be there. It's going to be constantly evolving and changing and moving, and you'll start to see fads come in and out again, and old things come in. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the future holds. South Africa is good in the sense that we have some legacy bands, us being one of them, but the Narrow, the certain other bands, the Springwood New Girls, and those kind of legacy acts are always there. But there's these new bands that are coming up, and let's hope to see what the future holds for them. I think they're great bands. The music is not the problem. It's just sometimes maybe the industry and the ability to make money, you know, to keep it going is a trick.
Did you ever try to analyze why, especially in Germany, you are getting so much more attention?
I think what it is with us, it's the second biggest market in the world in terms of rock and roll. America, we found, it's a lot bigger and broader in that sense. So we didn't have an in, and we got lucky here with my meeting people, and obviously we came through and we started playing to like 2 people, 3 people. But yeah, I think Germany gave us the in, so we were very fortunate to have that, you know.
You said once that coming from a small town gave you bigger aspirations, ambition, motivation. What kind of place was it when you started?
Oh man, I think it was a tiny town where we all come from, and each individual guy in the band comes from a small place. Peter Maritzburg is a place outside of Durban in Natal, KwaZulu Natal, and it's a city. But it's not that big, you know. Then I'm from Middelburg, very small town. Witbank, the rest of the guys, and then Dale, the drummer, is from a place called Welcome, and there's not even one robot, or what's it called? The lights, you know, so there's only one, I think, in the whole town. So we come from a very small town, and I think it was just that we fell in love with music, and we fell in love with that dream, and it makes us, we knew we had to work hard, and we still feel that we have to work harder than the next guy. I think for us, we've always been the small guys, and all this has been the underdogs, and especially even with money, like South African money is worth nothing. Like the country's in junk status in terms of the money. So for us, it's now we have to work even that much harder. But it's a good motivator, you know what I mean? So hopefully we'll be around in a few years to continue the story.
What is Radar Unearthed, and how are you involved with them?
Radar Unearthed is an amazing thing. It's actually our bookkeeper. He's our accountant, and he had many Porsches, and he was like the monk that sold his Ferrari. He gave up a lot of his luxuries in life, and he sold them all because of the high incidence of rape in South Africa, and woman abuse and child abuse. So he spoke to us about this, and we thought this was an amazing thing. So we joined forces with him, and we work with them closely in terms of music. And they are different parts. So there's Radar Unearthed, which is a part of music. We're taking young artists and being allowed to the musicians to get out there and record. And there's also the element of the abused, where they have homes and they help people, and it's truly an amazing thing, man. I think it's revolutionary, and it will be a worldwide thing very soon. I think it's going to be continue to grow. Radar Unearthed.
Do you remember what kind of a dreamer were you when you were younger? I know that your first real passion was skateboarding, right?
Yeah. Skateboarding was my thing. My ankles, I still feel it every day. I still feel the dream that it messed up my ankles, but it was great. I mean, I will never take it back. And then it was art with the rest of the guys. I'm sure it was. Marco's always had this thing with music, and same as Dale. It's just music from day. I think the day they opened their eyes. So we're all dreaming in that kind of way. But yeah, skateboarding is my thing, and thank God we can live this dream, you know.
And your first musical love was metal music, right?
Yeah. I still love metal music very much. I just think I wasn't very good at it. Like, I used to have a lot of friends who were so fast. I think Prime Circle's together because of a metal guitarist who passed away named George Hutting. So yeah, I've always loved it, and I think it's something that it's actually, I'm glad that I'm not playing metal, because you know, sometimes when you're in something, it loses its value a little bit, because then you can start counting and it's like being an actor, can't watch movies anymore. So I think metal music for me is still like that sort of teenage rebellious thing that I love, and it's mine, and I don't have to sell it or perform it, you know what I mean, be in the business with it. I can just enjoy it.
How important for you is to bring support with your lyrics to those who need it? People tell you often that they found your lyrics in the tougher times of their lives.
Yeah, that's the biggest honor. I think when someone says to you that your lyrics help them, I think that even if it helps one person, it's a huge thing. And being a listener of lyrics, I love lyrics and how lyrics have helped me. I know how big that moment is, and I know how beautiful that moment can be. So I really appreciate it. It is a huge honor when someone says that.
What is the meaning of the title, If You Don't, You Never Will, and how does it connect with this cloud-headed person on the cover?
This album is a very phonetic album, so a lot of the lyrics was like sort of even written just on like going with the feeling. I never put pen to paper initially, and then I'd listen back to whatever came out, and then I'd piece it together in terms of what the feeling of the song was, instead of trying to write a pinpointed story. And the name If You Don't, You Never Will was one of those phonetics, so it actually means whatever you want it to mean. And the cloud head is sort of like head in the clouds kind of thing. It's we just like the way it looked. It's literally, this album is not like, we don't want anyone to overthink it, but if they do, they must think about it the way they want. So it's up to you. It's your head, it's your brain, and it's your cloud, you know. If you don't, you never will. It could be a motivator, it could be anything. I just love the way it sounded. I think it's just it's got a cool sound.
I have noticed that you show gratitude to your fans in many ways. Like, for example, on your Facebook fan page, you often reply to comments. You don't like to put a wall between you and your fans.
Yeah. Well, I've been very shit at it. I must admit, I'm not good at technology, and the band we've really been trying to be more connective, and because we come from both worlds. I mean, when we started out, it was about the secrecy. If you found a band photo that your friends didn't have, it was sort of like, it was cherished, and that you go visit the friend and go, wow, you got a Nirvana poster that I can't get a hold of. And now the world changed while we were playing as well, so it's become a lot more open and accessible. So we had to learn and go with the times, and we love hearing from people, and I don't think that there should be any reason why we shouldn't respond if we are reading a comment. So on an individual point and a band point, I think we all try and reply as much as we can.
What is also pretty special, you have recorded video invitations for every single show.
Yes.
On this tour.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the idea?
It was we wanted to do it, but it was like I kept on messing it up. So it was a very long day of us trying to get all the invitations. It's just we really we want to try and get as many people in the towns to see as much as we can, because we don't get the luxury of being here as much as we'd like. It's something that we definitely want to push more. So we just wanted to tell everyone a personal message to come out and come check it out. And it's been beautiful, like people coming to the shows. I mean, it's only the second show, and it's really cool. So we're very exciting.
Not many bands have ideas like this.
Yeah.
So it's making it much more personal.
Yeah.
For fans in these particular cities.
Yeah, I think we are the version of anti-rockstar. I think that's pretty much who we are. You know.
Today you play in a smaller club. but
Yeah.
you also have a lot of experience with playing on big festivals
Yeah.
with thousands of people in front of you. So do you have a different mindset when you come to two different scenarios?
This is scarier. I think the bigger the animal, it's sort of you can sort of it's scary as well. I mean, we get nervous for everything, but these small shows is you can see the whites of the eyes. You know, people are watching you, and it's a lot more intimate, a lot more exposed, and so it's good. But it's good to do these shows. I think these are still. I think even for bands who do 100,000 people, you know, we do a lot of festivals. I still think these are the ones that sort of get to you a bit more. It's sort of what we have done more in our lives. So it's something that's a little bit more home. It feels a bit more home, you know. These big festivals are amazing. It's like it's the things we all aspire to, but the journey is in these.
You tour a lot. How does the fact that all of you spend a large portion of the year together affect relations between bandmates?
We are like brothers, so it's the love to hate, you know. And there's even a song called Love to Hate, but yeah, it is that kind of thing. But we get each other. Like like even this morning, we're like biting each other, and then by the afternoon you forget about it because we serve the songs. In the end, it's about the songs. It's bigger than you, and it's like we said, it's a luxury and an honor to be able to play music. So get over yourself quickly. Because, you know, like we said, there's at festivals, there's fights, there's so many people want to play music. The luxury you get to do it, so move on and don't be a prick. Yeah.
So the last question that I always like to ask is, what is your musical guilty pleasure? Something that your fans may be surprised that you like.
I'm a massive Phil Collins fan, and I know that, and that's not a guilty pleasure, like, but a lot of people might find that, like, you know, oh, they don't talk about Phil, but like Phil Collins is my jam. That's my man. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of Elton John stuff as well. I really like the songwriting, you know. So I think it's Marcos is Bon Jovi. He's a big Bon Jovi fan. Dale is like, he's also into extremely heavy stuff, and you can see that sometimes when he's drumming. He's just that madman. And Neil is a jazz cat, and Dirk is like he's into, what's that band? Pour Some Sugar on Me. Def Leppard. So there's all the guilty pleasures of the band.